your rights, we are making that difference. And now to our welcome to the stage, please give a warm welcome to Glenton. Welcome.
Good evening everyone, and thanks for coming down tonight. I'd like to offer my thanks obviously to Stop the War for inviting me down to Conway Hall to speak again. It's been a year since I spoke, but it kind of feels like home and things have changed so much. Period. It's been pretty amazing. And it's amazing to be back and not sitting in prison, obviously. This year has been the most challenging of my life. And since I spoke last, I've served a prison sentence for objecting and speaking out and absence without leave. But rest assured I would serve it again. And in the current climate, I consider it a badge of honour to have served a prison sentence. To have resisted and to continue to resist is certainly the most empowering experience I've known in my life. And it's split between every emotion you can imagine, and it's been terrifying, and other times it's been almost therapeutic to be up against the state. But there was only one period during this I actually felt alone, like it was just me. And that's the first evening after the kind of drum head courts martial. It was a bizarre spectacle for anyone who's there in March, and that was after the cell door closed on that first night. I felt quite alone. But by the next day, mail had started to arrive, and I realised that I wasn't alone. I was in there with a whole bunch of people from all kinds of backgrounds. Excuse me. At its peak, I received 200 letters a day, up to about 200 letters and messages a day, as well as the respect of my fellow prisoners, which was offered freely and without question. They were a fantastic bunch of convicts. Particularly, some of the younger lads came up to me and said, "You're a legend," they said to me. And I said, "I can't wait to tell my mum I'm in a cell with a celebrity." It was high. And the letters came from all manner of people, a lot of ex-servicemen, mothers, school children, people from unions, World War II veterans, activists, and parents of those killed in the conflict I took part in, and others, the sister conflict in Iraq particularly. I think if prison is about small victories, the fact that these hundreds of letters literally clogged up the military mail system in MCTC, I count that as a victory. I don't know about you. And I don't fail to see the irony of the military correctional training centre. That is that the people who sent me there belong to the same establishment that has led us as a country into 2 unjustified wars, and they believe it's me who needs correction. That's quite bizarre. Well, it would be funny, obviously, I wouldn't say tragic. But for me, I'll call it what it is. It's not a correctional training centre, it's a military prison. And that's it, the bottom line, whatever they bandy around. They seem to have convinced themselves that it's not a prison, even though it's under HMP, but there you go. A bit of intellectual dishonesty there. But the whole situation to me ties into the central kind of hypocrisy, and I see it a lot more clearly now than when I was younger, when I first joined the military. It was on reflection, and I've had quite a bit of free time lately to reflect on things, up until about 2 weeks ago. I realised I have a lot more in common with the people in Afghanistan than with my own military and political commanders. And that the real enemy, I've concluded, is not the man to your front who you're facing with a rifle, it's the man directly behind you and above you telling you to pull the trigger. While in prison, my mother brought me a set of medals, and this was a bit of a revelation to me. They belonged to Private Glenton. One was an MM, a military medal, with a citation for valour. And young Private Glenton, who's, I believe, about 15 or 16 at the time, signed up very young, had been a machine gunner at the Somme, I believe. And the other medal had his name inscribed, just as my name's inscribed on my medals, and it announced the Great War for Civilization. It was awarded nearly a century before mine, which mine bears the inscription "in the service of peace and freedom." And it seems both me and my great-grandfather were duped, so times change, but the lies stay pretty much the same, I think. I think that's enough history, and we have to concentrate on now, obviously, and I do believe, particularly with the revelations today, it's less revelations than confirmation, I think.